In the last class, we discussed about the moon. Many things we came to know about the moon. Now the phases of the moon. What are the phases and what is called the phases of the moon? We will discuss now in our class. So, phases of the moon. We know that moon reflects the light of the sun. Thus the visible shape of the moon changes from night to night. That we have observed, and we observe every day only. When the moon is visible, every night it changes. Now night to night, why it varies? It's when its journey starts, that means from new moon to full moon. When we see the full moon, that means it is bright, very clear. It starts from the dark and goes to full moon. So when suppose it has started from here, and after one day this portion will be visible, second day this portion, like that it will increase. That means we can see the moon very clear, the visible portion. That means these are visible portion. When it increase, it is called wax. Same way, when it will come this side, it is called wane, W-A-N-E, wane. That means becoming dark and becoming bright. So it is the waning and waxing of the moon. It is called the phase of the moon. That means how it looks. It is called the phase. In fact, the moon is always half dark. So when we see the moon, we see that some dark spots are there and half bright. But the angle of view from the earth keeps changing. When we see from the earth, it keeps on changing. Sometimes we see that it is brighter, sometimes we see that dark spots are more. So it is because of the view angle. That means from the earth, if we see, the angle changes. That is why we see it different. On the new moon day, the dark hemisphere of the moon faces the earth. That means when the sunlight it gets, we see the brightness of the moon, and the backside of the moon we cannot see. That means it is the dark part, and when it rotates, that means the another part comes. But from the earth, when we see, the dark part also we see and the brighter part also. So when the dark hemisphere of the moon faces the earth, that means if we are here and if we see the back part, that means it is the dark part of the moon. And whereas on the full moon day, the bright hemisphere is visible to us. That means when we see the full moon is bright, that means from here we can see the whole moon. That is why it is called the full moon day. Now, asteroids. What are asteroids? Asteroids are small planet-like solid objects. These are the solid objects. But the shape of the solid objects are huge. But it is a small planet. We can say, suppose the earth is like, so it is also solid object, and what we see that it roam around the sun, they are called asteroids, and they are also called planetoids or minor planets. So they are also called minor planets. They are also called minor planets. Each asteroid follows its own orbit. So many asteroids are there, but they follow their own orbit. That means they have their own road. They never go that side or this side. They have their own road and they will revolve the sun. The main belt, which has billions of asteroids, lies between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. So around the Mars and Jupiter only billions of asteroids are there, and no one goes or no one change their position. That means they have their own orbit and they roam around this Mars and Jupiter. The belt stretches from about 250 million to 600 million kilometers from the sun. That means this belt, they have their one belt, and in this belt these asteroids are there and they revolve the sun, and the distance is from 250 million to 600 million kilometers. And it is now widely believed that asteroids are broken pieces of some planets. That means 8 planets are there, and these asteroids are formed because of the breaking of some planets. So it is the breaking part of the planets, which probably exploded soon after its birth. That means from the planet, one part of the planet comes out and it makes one more asteroid. So this way the birth of asteroids are there.